Y'all, if you thought that our brothers in Dearborn were bad, let me introduce you to the Southeast Asian brothers in Toronto. And by introduce, I mean beg you to run for your life. Because if you think the idea of toxic Arab men participating in Western dating culture is bad, then you clearly never experienced the incel level Pakistani guys participating in Western dating culture. And I'm not gonna sit here and act like completely the victim. About 50% of it was my fault. I suffer from a condition called I think I can fix him-itis. So when a guy with mommy issues comes up and tries to manic pixie dream girlify me, I immediately check yes. But the way that this man absolutely unscrewed every single screw in the cuckoo clock I call my brain, I'm genuinely terrified for every single brown girl under the age of 27 in the Scarborough neighborhood. Because obviously I was the only white girl he was talking to, because he had absolutely no intentions of even getting close to being serious with me. And I'm not gonna sit here and like dox this guy or like describe the torture that I let myself go through over the past like 3 months almost. Mostly because I'm entirely too embarrassed to admit that I let my grown self be emotionally manipulated this hard. But all I'm gonna say to my sisters in the Toronto area is, just because he has a doctorate and a full beard and he's over 6 feet tall and he's kind of ugly cute and he does that thing where he's like bullying you to flirt with you, does not mean he's gonna treat you well. It actually means he's gonna ruin your life. I'm on sleeping medication now because I can't sleep without talking to him on the phone, because he would call me every single night and just literally like, what is that called? You know, like that social experiment where you trick a dog into getting hungry every time you ring a bell. You know, like you ring a bell and then give them food, and then after a while you ring the bell and they start salivating because they're like used to getting food when they hear the bell. He did that to me with sleep, and I let him. I knew what was happening because like I'm crazy enough that I've studied psychology and like Freudianism or whatever, and like I knew what was happening and I let it happen because he's weirdly charming. There were like 500 red flags from day one, and somehow he still planted like a million worms in my brain. The situation literally went from him calling me every single day because he works from home so he could FaceTime me all day while he was doing his little doctor job on his computer, to him literally FaceTiming me while I was working and showing me the profiles of the other women that he liked and talking about their bodies to me. And when it finally got to the point where I was starting to like see reality again and I went off on him, he would literally be like, oh yeah, this other girl I was talking to said the exact same thing about me that you did. You want to hear her text message? And then just read it to me. And then he'd be like, oh yeah, this one said the same thing too. Yeah, I went out on a couple of dates with this one and she said the exact same things about me that you are. It's so crazy, ha ha ha. Like, no, you're crazy. The straw that broke the camel's back was the night that I found out that my absolute best friend in the entire world is literally dying of lung failure. So I messaged him because he usually call me every single night, and I was like, hey, can you call me a little bit early tonight because I'm like freaking out and I can't cope and I don't know what to do. Well, I fell asleep because I was literally crying all night, and the next morning I woke up and saw that he'd sent me a message responding to me, explaining to him now my friend is dying, to just said, nice, I'm bored. I'm so glad that I saw reality and finally blocked him, because like, what the? If you live in Toronto and this sounds like the man that you're talking to, literally run. Literally run.